In this video, I will be showing how to bind off using I-cord bind off. Hi, this is Ari from Palmieri Arts and Crafts. Today, I would like to show you how to do this neat bind off. This is called I-cord bind off. It provides this very nice clean edge compared to normal bind off. I will be demonstrating 3-stitch I-cord bind off today, but you can also adjust the number of stitches depending on your project. First, we are going to cast on 3 stitches. And again, if you are using not 3 stitches cast on but 4 stitches cast on, then you can cast on 4 stitches right here. I will be using knitting on cast on, but you can also use a cable cast on or any other single strand cast on method. Let me show you how to do knitting on cast on. So you're simply going to knit, and instead of dropping the stitch from the left needle, we are going to swing the right needle and then insert the left needle into this stitch. And be careful not to do this from the top to bottom. That is going to twist the stitch. So we would like to insert the left needle under this stitch and transfer onto the left needle. So this is one stitch right here. Let's cast on one more stitch. Knit. And then swing the right needle, insert the left needle from the bottom up, and then onto the left needle. Knit, and then from under, transfer to the left needle. So now you have 3 stitches casted on right here. And this is a main pattern stitch. So I-cord bind off, we are going to knit these 2 stitches and the last 3rd stitch and the main stitch. We are going to work these 2 stitches together. So let's say if you have 5 stitches I keep saying cast on, this is bind off. Let's say if you have 5 stitches bind off, then you get the idea. You're going to do knit 4 stitches and then 5th stitch, the last stitch of the cast on, and the main pattern, you're going to work those 2 stitches together so you can bind off the project as you go. So let me show you what I mean. So knit first and 2nd stitch as usual, and then these 2 I am going to work these 2 stitches together. It's depending on your preference and maybe what the pattern states. You can use 2 different kind of stitches. So my favorite one is knit 2 together through the back loop, but you can also do SKP, which is slip knit pass, or SSK, slip slip knit. I have a separate tutorial for SKP and SSK, so if you are not familiar with those stitches, you can click the pop-up on the corner of this screen or click the link in the description below. Alright, so like I said, I like to do knit 2 together through the back loop. So instead of knitting 2 stitches together from the front like this, we are going to insert the right knitting needle into these 2 stitches from the back, and then knit these 2 together. Oops. And then drop these 2 stitches. So now these 2 stitches are worked together. Right here is where we are binding off. So now we are going to transfer these 3 stitches back onto the left needle. We are not working on the stitches, just slipping onto the left needle. There. Now we are going to repeat this process. Knit 2 stitches and then knit through the back loop. And then transfer again. And then do the same process. Oh, I think I split the yarn. Here you go. Knit 2 and then work these 2 stitches together. And let me fast forward so you can see all the way to the end. Okay, now I repeated same process all the way to the end. So now I have 1 stitch left. We are going to do the same thing. So you can knit 2 stitches and then knit 2 together through the back loop. And here is basically completed I-cord bind off. It creates this beautiful cord and neat edge. So now we are going to transfer these 3 stitches back onto the left needle. And I will show you 3 ways to finish the end when you are knitting flat. And also I'm going to show you how to graft the ends when you're knitting in the round. Before we move on to the next step, I wanted to mention that I just created a Ko-fi account where you can buy me a cup of coffee. All the support will go toward pattern making and the tools to make better contents for free. So if you feel like supporting what I do, I really appreciate it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials. The first method is to bind off these 3 stitches as normal. So knit first stitch and the second stitch, oops, and then pass this stitch over, do the same. So it's just a regular bind off and then take the end. So that's the first method. The second method is to knit these 3 stitches together. So instead of going from the back, we are simply going to knit these stitches from the front together. And then pull the tail. And you can weave these stitches in to make it look neater. The third option is to thread this tail through a tapestry needle. And then transfer these stitches onto the tapestry needle and simply pull. And then weave in the end. Okay, so now I have a little swatch knitted in the round, and the beginning of the bind off is the same. So we are going to cast on the stitch and then start working on the I-cord bind off. But the only difference is the flat project, you can just finish these stitches and weave in. But when you are knitting in the round, you don't want this gap in between the beginning and the end. So I am going to show you how to graft these stitches so it almost looks like there hasn't been any gap. So first we are going to cut the tail end, which I already did. And make sure you have a long enough tail so you can use for grafting. And thread it through the tapestry needle. Okay, so we are going to find a row that has clear V shape on the I-cord. So I did 3 I-cord bind off, so there should be 3 stitches. So that's the beginning of the I-cord right there. So this is first V and second V and the third V. And we are going to work from right to left. So first we are going to insert the the tapestry needle from the right to left into this stitch. And then we are moving on to the beginning of bind off and find the first stitch. So this V, that's the first stitch. So going to insert the tapestry needle from right to left of this V. Okay. Now we are going to insert the tapestry needle not just here, but also the previous stitch we had on the knitting needle. So I don't know if you can tell very well. Right here, that was a stitch. It was on the knitting needle previously. So we are going to insert the tapestry needle into this stitch. So just the left leg. So there is a V shape right here. We are only inserting under the left leg of this V shape. And you can also see this is a tail end. When you pull this, you can see it's tagging. So we are going to insert where the tail end is coming out. And then put through this tapestry needle to the second, into the second stitch from right to left. And then drop. And we are going to find the second V stitch, second stitch. So right here, that's second stitch. And then we are going to do the same. So this is the previous stitch. We're going to pick the left leg and then insert the tapestry needle, drop the stitch. And then find the third stitch and make sure to tug a little bit so it won't be too loose. So this is a third stitch. And then we are going to insert the tapestry needle into the last stitch that was on the knitting needle. And you see now it's grafted. And if you feel like these are a little loose, then you can also kind of track the string, the tail end, and just pull the yarn and make it tighten. Okay, so I couldn't adjust everything by looking at the camera screen, so I had to pause, but I did adjust some grafting by pulling the tail and tighten a little bit. And now it looks pretty smooth. So we are going to insert, so this is where the last part came from, and then we are going to insert the needle somewhere underneath. Oh, wrong end. There you go. And then weave in the end. If you have any question, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Happy knitting!